I have an hour in the same terminal. I have an hour connection. Money.
Yeah, well, you're telling me that Hashem does everything. I understand, but smallpox was a disease. It was horrible. If you look at the pictures, you just put it in the Wikipedia. And the skin and this whole formulation, and it was almost incurable. Now the disease is gone from this planet. I mean, it could reemerge. There's planets create life, so there's
life. Could be a new virus or germ come off. I understand. There could be a new virus, a new germ.
So we have to, as people, we have to chase it, whether you're a scientist or not. If you know that there's a disease coming, right? If a guy's robbing a bank and you see, you call 911.
So therefore what?
So that's our job as people. You call 911, the police come, you stop the guy, right? So you could throw in a kapitel tilim or not. That's up to you. But your job as a yid, your chiyuv for leisamet al dam re'echa is to call, right? A scientist is to actually work and know nature as much as possible.
I hear you. Scientists, I understand your job. And a fireman's job is to get on a truck and squirt a hose. And a doctor's job is to put on a stethoscope. And this guy's job is to take his broom and whatever.
That's right.
I understand. Everyone has their job, everyone has a criteria. But the question is, how much is that person doing? And how much is not? And how much is...
Okay, so emunah.
You can't get to the point.
So let's speak about evolution and emunah. Okay, if you could speak to Hashem right now for 5 minutes, what would you say? Would you have a bakasha? Would you have a taina? What would you do? Because because there are people that come like the shul and they would say they had a dream.
It's like a davening, I guess. Or no,
davening, I know what davening is. The whole world davening.
So I'm saying you're asking me for 5 minutes. It's like yeah. It's like a shmon esrei.
What would you ask Hashem?
But what would I ask?
Bakasha, taina. I'm giving you variables. You could be something. You could ask him something about the past. You could ask him a taina. No. He's asking you to talk to him as a relationship. He's not asking you to survive the meeting.
No taina.
Some people, they think, when I meet Hashem, I want to survive the meeting, which means not get on his bad side, not get him angry.
I have no tainas.
You have no tainas. Oh, that's it. So, if you were a person...
How could I have tainas? How could anyone have tainas?
You might ask about kids with cancer if you ever visited a hospital.
I understand what I...
No. I didn't ask you to ask him to understand them. I asked him if you had a conversation with Hashem, what would you ask him?
But I'm saying, I'm telling you...
I know that you have derech eretz because he's melech machem lachem.
Why do you interpret it? If I say I don't have tainas, why are you saying it's because you don't want to say anything? Okay. Everybody has tainas.
Okay.
I don't have tainas.
If I gave a kid cancer and I'm your fellow Jew, would you have tainas to me?
If you gave him cancer?
Yes.
If you were God?
If I was like Dr. If I was Dr. Mengele, a human being giving another...
If you were one-on-one with me, the same level as me, like another human being?
Yes, a fellow Jew.
Have tainas.
You would have tainas to me. So you just said you don't have tainas, now you said you do.
I said I don't have tainas on Chodesh Baruch Hu.
So I asked you if you have a meeting with the Rebbeinu Shalom and you could talk to him.
And he's the Rebbeinu Shalom, or he's coming down as a person?
He's asking you to have a relationship. He's saying, could you just be... He says, he says to you, I know you look at me like God, but stop being afraid of me. Stop admiring me so much because I'm trying to have a relationship with you. Imagine you went on a date with a girl and you thought she's God. You could never get married.
Why is it a steer? What are you saying?
What would you say to the Rebbeinu? So let's put the tainas away.
No, you have to tell me. I want to tell you. I want to answer your question, but tell me what the gather of the relationship is.
You have a bakasha today, Bishta. Forget the taina. If you had a bakasha, what would you make? What bakasha would you make?
I'd make for...
Information. Ask him for information. He's an all-knowing God. You don't want information from him? Hashem, I just want to know exactly where the properties of curing cancer is, and I'll handle the rest.
Vaday not.
Okay. I would. You would. I don't know if I'm a kaifer, but I would probably say, Hashem, where is the cure of cancer?
Why?
Why would I ask him that? Because that's my job. Hashem didn't give me a job.
But I understand. You're like Kilu. You've interpreted.
And you're sure that Hashem would be upset at me for asking him?
Upset? I don't know.
Maybe he'll be happy that I asked him. Maybe.
I can't see any happiness.
You don't see.
I see that maybe he's happy that you have a relationship with him. And
No. That I asked him for a cure for cancer instead of asking him for a certain amount of money because, like Shlomo Melech, what did Shlomo Melech ask Hashem?
Why?
Okay.
Why?
Why?
If he's a Kadosh Baruch Hu,
right?
If he's a Kadosh Baruch Hu, and what is a Kadosh Baruch Hu?
No,
he wants you to recognize that he can do. He's the only thing in your life.
I already recognize that right now.
So why? Are you,
but I'm finally in a meeting.
Why do you think that? Why isn't asking for money or asking for a cure for cancer? Why is it any different? If he's the Rebbeinu Shalom and he's your, then he's. There was I can't remember offhand right now. There was a taina when somebody asked was a request for money, and then he had a Kodesh Baruch Hu taina and says. That's all you asked for? That means you're not recognizing my potential. I'm a Kodesh Baruch Hu. Why would you minimize the Kodesh Baruch Hu?
The meeting wasn't about praising him, and the meeting wasn't about recognizing how awesome he is. The meeting was about me being able to have a relationship to ask him, just like you meet a rich person.
I understand.
So you're asking him a bakash.
I hear what you're
I mean
saying,
a rich,
but I don't
king,
understand one thing.
a king that makes gzeres.
What's not consistent with what you're saying is that you're differentiating between saying if there's all and if there's these things, that's not a relationship. A relationship can only be, in the way you're defining it, is like one-on-one. Hey, what's going on with cancel? What's going on with parking tickets? What's going on with this? What's going on with that?
So I'm going
that's not a relationship.
So I'm going to finish praising Hashem, and then he's going to finally say, "You have anything to ask of me?" Because that's called work. When you make a bakasha from someone, let's say you make a bakasha from someone that's a baki, a mumche in one thing and a mumche in the other. So the Eibishter might be a mumche in many fields. I'm asking him to do one thing.
Right.
Maybe end poverty. Maybe end hunger. So I say to him,
why? I don't understand. Why would that enter?
Why would I want him? Oh, why would it enter my mind?
Why would it enter?
Maybe he'll impress Hashem that I care about humanity. Maybe he'll impress
Hashem. You can ask Hashem. Okay, you can ask Hashem for Rahmanis, that he should have Rahmanis on Klal Yisrael.
But between me and you, Tachlis, if the Baruch Shalom faced you like he faced the Nevi'im, I'm probably thinking that you would not make those demands. But I'm saying that now.
What do you mean like he faced the Nevi'im? How did he face the Nevi'im?
Let's say the way he spoke to Moshe and Avram, he spoke to you. I'm imagining that you would ask him, "What's my job today? What should I do, Hashem?" Specifics. You would say, "Hashem, I already do mitzvahs. I do whatever the Rabbanon said to do."
But not what in my mind to cure cancer and do these things. I would ask him, "What do you want me to do?"
Exactly. So I know all that already. I'm assuming that that's what's going to happen. Without speaking to you, I don't have to ask you. Would you ask the Rebbeinu Shalom? I already assumed that if you're a firm Yid and you met God, you would probably ask God, "What's my mitzvah today?" Right? Mitzvah, mitzvah, voice. And you would probably ask him specific for you because you already know what the Shulchan Aruch says. You already have the Shulchan Aruch. And you have Poskim and Rabbanim to ask. You have your higher ups to ask. So that's not what you're going to ask him, Shaila, and something that he'll tell you, ask your local rabbi. You ask him personally, Baruch Shalom, what do you want from me? Right? Okay. Lady came to shul. Here's her story. She dies. She comes back. And she came into community, and I don't want to hear her story. But we have a small shul. It's mostly educated people there. She says she died. She met Hashem. She asked him about the Shaya. She doesn't remember the answer. Everything blacked out. I heard the story. I understand. If you know mental health, this is all a dream. This doesn't mean that there was actually a contact with some supernatural God or anything. It's because we have plenty of these stories in mental health. Okay. Somebody came to me today and said he saw a burning bush talk to him. It's not a sign of robust mental health. And I have many stories. I read these books. I'm into this mental health. I'm interested in it. It's a human interest. Like you have an interest in Abaye and Rava. So I learned Gemara, but this mental health, I know the world better. One guy who is an Orthodox Jew, he's a scientist also. His name is Miner. He actually lives in this neighborhood and he all schleps out to come to us. He said, if I was in a sleep state and I met someone and in the dream I think I'm talking to God, whether or not it's a God or not doesn't matter, but the shaila is on me. The whole story is only what I can tell you. I wouldn't ask Hashem about the past. This lady probably has some affairs that she wants to clean up, so she wants to do not a checkmate with God, but a draw. Maybe a draw. She says to the Baruch Shalom, I don't bother you about what you did to the Holocaust. Doesn't look nice on your part. Maybe you have some reason, but still, from our part, perspective, it does not something we would do. If we were compassionate gods, we would not do that. So I have a Louis Vuitton bag that I buy and I fancy vacations. When I could have, with the one bag, I could have bought 50 kids in Yerushalayim new shoes for Yom Tov. So she's not fooling God. God knows she's not close to what she could do.
What's the point?
Close. And I know this stuff because I already, it's easy guess. The guy, scientist says, and I'll finish with this. He says, if I met God, I would ask him, what's your future move? In chess, when are you planning on doing your next atrocity? Jews, Goyim, because he doesn't really, you see Goyim and Yidden die the same way. And the naked eye sees. You can say that he has a kavanah with the Yidden, with the Goyim, and he doesn't have a kavanah when the ISIS shoot people down. I would ask God, when's your next move? Give me some information. Who's the next?
For what purpose?
For what purpose? That's for you to guess. Tell me why a Yid?
No
a Yid in a sleep state is asking God.
You want daven first?
Not daven. What did Jabotinsky say? Jabotinsky, Zev Jabotinsky, what did he do before the war? He said to the Yidden, Sebrent, run, Hitler's coming, Sebrent, run. Is it a from prophet? I don't care if it's a from prophet. It's a prophet.
You have too much kochi v'atzaviyadi. That's the problem. For sure. Everything you're saying is kochi v'atzaviyadi. I have to do. What can I do? What can I tell the Jews to run?
I just said that I'm going to ask the Rabbanu Shalom for the information, and you're telling me that I'm saying kochi v'atzaviyadi doesn't make any sense.
For sure. You're asking for the information on what person. So I can do something to prevent, so I can control. Bring it. The only way you can stop it is through davening, tshuva. There's nothing you're going to run away from a culture. You think that every person, let's say from the Holocaust, you think that if any person that ran away from the Holocaust, that Kilu, if they didn't run away, they would have died in the Holocaust. They would have something. Kodesh Baruch Hu made a mistake. Kodesh Baruch Hu said, "Listen, you take care of yourself." I don't understand it. To me, it just is very.
Because you have to make it make sense. And I don't. You have to know. I'm a scientist. We're comfortable not knowing.
Because a scientist is the epitome of kochi v'atzaviyadi. You look in the microscope, you look at the microscope, you say, look what I found, look what I did, I
spoke to the Yeshiva Bacham, I told them, when I go into the laboratory, and I'm with other people, and they could be Christians from their tradition. Everyone's born somewhere. Some people are from cults. They grew up in Texas in a harsh cult. Some of them grew up in free-thinking homes, which they were atheists at age 7. When I come into that room and we look at a microscope, for whatever reason, there is no such a thing as God, and I'll tell you why. Because if I say God, or a Christian says God, or a Muslim says God, we don't ask him which God. That's for a person on the street. If someone on the street asks me, do you believe in God? I ask him which God, because I want him to specify. And then I tell him, Allah, not Allah, because I'll tell you why, because I don't believe Muhammad spoke to him. So it must be something that was a thing.
What does that have to do with the equation?
But when we're in the laboratory, not for the street, we have to qualify what is God. Now to you, I don't know, I didn't ask you yet what God is, to you. So I can't qualify. But if I ask you and you give me an honest answer, or you don't give me an honest answer, you give me an answer that's going to make you fit into the frug as an observant Jew.
Why do you make assumptions?
I just said that I can't qualify without asking you.
Why make assumptions that no matter what I say, that it could be that I'm trying to fit in?
You'll either say yes, or you'll either tell me the full honesty, or you will either not. Those are two options.
What if the full honesty is something from?
I don't know a third option.
What if the full honesty is something from?
That's what I mean. Either you'll be Mishalom both together, of course. You'll be Mishalom the full honesty of the God of your childhood, which you believed when you were little. And then, when I was little, I believed Hashem had 2 popsicle sticks, and he would do like a magic wand. Now I realize that because when I watched I watched the Sesame Show, I saw the guy doing magic with wands.
I'll tell you what
I believe that Hashem had wands that made the world.
I'll tell you 2 things. One thing. There's 2 Mishalom. One, a guy
from Hashem. What is God for you? Is it a man in the sky?
Is it a man in the sky?
We say who will came to? We say he.
Yeah, so but is physically a man?
It's a king. It's a Avinu Malkeinu.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about like.
And he hides in the sky, or he hides right here near us, maybe. Because the sky we already know. We're not like we're surrounded by the unseen like our ancestors. We already know.
But that's irrelevant. It's not like.
It's very relevant. For our history, it's very relevant.
Well, I'm talking about for our discussion, yeah. So I'll tell you 2 things. One, a guy from the farm, Kfar, the village. He goes and they tell him he rides horses. This and that. Never saw a train before. So they go and they put him on a train to go. He's like, wow, he's impressed. Why is he going on a train the first time? He gets in this huge metal thing. He goes to the car, nice comfortable seat. What happens? The train starts going, and he hears the whistle go. So when the train starts going, it goes very slow, right? So it's going very, very slow. And he's thinking, this is a train. When you're on a horse, and you go, the horse goes, that's it, what do you have to sit there? So he takes a stick that he used to take for the horse, he starts beating the walls of the train. Go. That's what our existence over here is. That's exactly what we're doing. We're living a life, and we're doing. We think that we're, going and we're pushing the buttons, and everything is happening because of what we're doing. It's like us like a guy taking a stick. It doesn't make any sense. But we think we're doing it, and then all of a sudden the train starts moving faster. It says, "Oh, that's what the train needed. It needed a good hit." That's exactly what we think.
So we think we're doing, but really we're just a part of nature.
Nothing. You are doing nothing.
Right. My mind is doing.
Your mind is doing. You are doing.
Right.
Kodesh Baruch Hu is
So it's
giving.
not
You're doing a
Kodesh
shtat.
Baruch Hu.
I'm talking
It's
about
the
the.
mind.
I'm talking about the results.
Yeah.
Have nothing to do with what you're doing. Nothing to do.
Yeah,
with
we could be. No, there are a theory in university. The boys
You
say.
have not. I'm not talking about theory. I'm talking about a yid and his.
Yeah, there are
Kodesh
people
Baruch
that
Hu.
say that Yidden are controlled by magical aliens. This is, I'm saying Yidden, you can say that
Why?
anything.
Keep going. I'm telling you, the top
Same
of the
thing.
moon. It's not the same thing. Not the time it's the same thing. No one's being
I
controlled.
didn't say it's the same thing. I said I only see it as the same thing. If you show me a Kiddush that it's not, so I accept the new Kiddush.
Our relationship with the Kodesh Baruch Hu has to be like everything. We have to do Ishtadlus because that's part of the equation. It says Adam Rishon, he had to do Ishtadlus for the world to come in. Hashem Kilu, it was a chiyuv for Adam Rishon. Ishtadlus is a chiyuv, but a person can't think that his Ishtadlus is doing anything. His Ishtadlus is not really.
Now I think his Ishtadlus.
His Ishtadlus has nothing to do with the result.
In the
Mamash has nothing to do with the result.
Beruchnius or Begashmius?
Everything in the whole world, whatever you're doing, in Ruchnis and Gashmis, your Hishtadlus does
You
not.
mean that a person is not allowed to think that it's his sole power?
Sure.
But I got the power from somewhere, right?
But you got the power and you did your Hishtadlus, but the result that happened was not from you.
Okay, so the Neshama is part of God. So really, I'm not me. I'm just God. So it's not that I'm God in a form, not.
Yeah, godliness.
I don't know. I mean, if I was God, I would change halachas. I would make more. I would change halachas if I was God, because I know which ones need to be changed, right? For Yiddishkeit to survive, we survived.
Again, kochi v'otzam yodim.
Of course. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai changed Yiddishkeit from he reformed the Hebrew religion to us today that we have the halacha, right? So we're not biblical Jews. We don't go by the Bible. We go by the Chachamim, right? Anyone who doesn't go by the Chachamim is not big. Why? Because the Chachamim said something that would survive. Was it the true religion? Some people were more strict. The Chachamim, now that we have the Dead Sea Scrolls, we can see the Chachamim were the most makil. But in a modern context, they looked like they were the most machmir. So when you say I'm not looking to do anything different than what Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai did. So if you want to say I'm not on the level of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, I'm not looking to be on any levels. I said that if I was God in the way that, I'm not that God with the authority. I don't have the authority. But if Baruch Shalom said, hey, could you do some stuff for me? I want to fix the Yiddishkeit. So we'll go and change halachas, right? Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai did it, and Rabbi Gershom did it. Rabbi Gershom made us monogamy. Monogamy is from the Goyim. We didn't learn monogamy from the Moshe Rabbeinu or anybody. Okay, it's a Goyish thing.
What's the point?
Not beating children corporally. We learn. I don't have any points. I don't have, and every word that I tell you is a point. Every word that I tell you, I take you from your state of faith to a state of knowing. Because when you don't know, you start with this kodesh and yadi, and I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to make of it. Because you want me to basically think that when I go out there and I say, if I only use my head better, I could have done better, right? Because your life doesn't get better than your mind does, right? So if I only did better, I would have succeeded in getting a solution. And every time I meet someone, I always had a better eitzah later. Hindsight is 20/20. So I'm always worried about how my mind. So to say that I'm just going out there and I'm doing Yigia Kapecha, I think it's from the Chabad, they say your mind shouldn't be involved with your hand, or maybe it's from the Yeshiva world. Yigia Kapecha, that your mind, Yaakov Avinu with the whole story, it's a Hasidic pshat on the Torah. Your hands should be involved, not your mind. But my daughter watches the...
That's a Shabbos.
But I don't think with my hands. I think dafk in my mind. Kol koichi should be dafk in my mind. Because the less
whatever you put into it,
right,
whether your mind or your hands, the bottom line is the result has nothing to do with you.
Right, so we have the Chachamim. The Chachamim, halacha kibasrei. The halacha goes by the ladder, not the form. So we have halachas today, organ donation.